Thank you guys for clicking on the video. I am Sully, and today, fellas, we're going to talk about Arkham Knight. I want to talk about the flaws I found with the game, and I loved Arkham Knight. It is a great game. It is better than a lot of games I have played, but when you compare it to the other games in the Arkham series, for me, it's very similar to The Dark Knight Rises. And what I mean by that is, when I first saw The Dark Knight Rises, I thought it was the greatest movie ever made. I thought it was so good. It was excellent. And then when I watched it a second time, I was like, yeah, it was all right. It's better than your average movie, but when you compare it to the other Batman movies in the Nolan trilogy, it's a little and the same goes for the Arkham Knight. And I'm going to talk about why the story to me was a little bit disappointing the more I thought about it. And I've 100% the game. Everything is done, wrapped up. So I've seen the ending. So spoilers are going to start right now. So if you haven't finished the game, don't stick around. All right, get out of here. Put it in your watch later on your YouTube thing. Come back when you've beat the game and you've watched the ending, because I'm about to get into some things. So I'm getting into spoilers right now. So go, leave. So first, let me just say this. The problems with the story I had was the Joker. The Joker was the biggest problem I have with the game, because Joker is phenomenal. He is what carried the story. If you remove the Joker, that plot is pretty dull. If you take away the Joker and him talking to Batman constantly, it's a pretty dull game. And, we went into it expecting him to be dead, the Joker. He was gone, and he comes back for the whole game. And the problem, I think, GameStop or GameSpot wrote an article or they had video about maybe for the new Arkham Knight game, they're actually going to regret killing the Joker. And I know Paul, who was on the comics, Paul Dini, I believe that's his name. I may have botched it. I deeply apologize. But he wrote and helped with Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, and he was not in this. I don't know why, but he wasn't. And it sort of shows. Arkham Knight was a huge disappointment, and here's why. Arkham Knight... Well, let me go back to the Joker first. The Joker, I just thought he carried it. He progressed the game so much, but he didn't really... I think he filled... Like, the Joker fills in spots where there's really dead time. If you're going to, like, the next mission or you're going on an elevator, he's there, and you're really listening to him. And Mark Hamill, props to him, because he carried it. Him and Kevin Conroy carried it. And it was just so much Joker... And it worked. They made it work. I'm not saying it didn't work. But I'm just saying, going into the game, you're expecting him to be dead, and he's there so much of the game. And then the problem is Arkham Knight dominates the game, too. And Scarecrow, who you think is going to be this really big factor, really isn't in the story at all. I mean, yeah, he kidnaps Gordon's daughter, and he's sort of there, but you never really face him. And coming to Arkham Knight, I don't even mind the Arkham Knight character, and the fact that even Ray Charles could have seen who was going to be the Arkham Knight, and it's a little bit influenced by Under the Red Hood. I don't have a problem with any of that. My problem is there's no real interaction for the Arkham Knight. He's so generic. It's like, even from the get-go, he's like, oh, Batman, tonight's the night you're gonna die. His voice is no different than a generic thug in the game. And it's like, why tonight? Why Halloween? Why? But it's just generic. Oh, you're tired. You're old, Batman. I know your tricks. And the problem is they tease the tip with the Arkham Knight so much. I mean, holy tits, man. You can only tease the tip so long. I mean, first you have the stealth mission where you're going to kill the Arkham Knight or beat him. And then you take him up to the rooftops. He escapes because you think you're punching the Joker, and then you go down to like these tunnels underground, and he's like some giant cockroach coming to get you, and then it's the stealth section, and then you finally kill him, and it was towards the end, it got so draining, because it's like you think you're gonna do it, you think it's over, and then it's not. You gotta gear up again, and I think the story just didn't carry enough. Arkham Knight was not captivating enough to warrant him being so much the game. I mean, outside of Joker and Batman sort of inner struggle, Arkham Knight is the game. And he simply is not interesting enough, in my opinion. And it's not because, again, of the premise that he was originally Robin and he was captured. The problem is that his lines throughout this whole thing are just, I'm going to get you, Batman. I'm going to kill you. You're old. You're washed up. And it's like, dude, even the goons say that. Like, can we get, like, is there something else? Like, yeah, we get it, man. You got pimped out by Batman and Joker came and twisted you, you know? Like, okay, I mean, that sounds like the average citizen stuff. So I wish the story is really good. After I was done, I was like, that is amazing. I was like, wow, that's so good. And I just thought, though, about, like, the Joker is a great villain, but I felt like he was such a crutch. I felt like Rocksteady, when Paul drops the mic, when Paul is like, I'm not helping you guys on Arkham Knight, I'm not going to help you guys write it or look over it or whatever, I feel like they almost panicked and were like, oh my gosh, we need the Joker. There's no way we can't do this without the Joker. And, you know, they bring back the Joker, and the Arkham Knight flopped because his dialogue was so generic. And then even Scarecrow. Scarecrow is hardly in the game. Like, Scarecrow is hardly in the game, and he's the reason why Gotham is empty. And the other thing, too, is there are hardly any real boss fights. I mean, you don't even really fight the Arkham Knight. You sort of, like, stealth your way, and then you don't even fight Scarecrow. I mean, there really aren't any boss fights in the game, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I didn't really think of any. So I don't know. Those are my complaints with the story. I want to do a separate video on why I think why Rocksteady I think messed up with Arkham Knight, and I also want to talk about the Batmobile because I have some thoughts about this Batmobile. But this is sort of my, like, I don't know, Chronicles of Batman. I want to do a little series talking about Batman. So if you guys have played it, watch this, you know, let me know what you guys think of just my thoughts about the story. Again, it sounds really negative because I'm going to do a whole video on what I feel like Rocksteady did right on their final installment of Batman. But the game is good. There's no doubt it's good. I just think when there's so much hype going into this, so much expectations, I just felt like at the end, when I finished the game, they had that whole Joker segment. Batman finally goes back, blows himself up, comes back as like the myth, the legend. You know, I'm like, this is so epic. It's so good. And I just thought about, you know, like Joker's really carrying the story. Even when I was playing, Arkham Knight was just annoying. Like initially I wanted to play it because I thought he was so original and I find out who he is. I'm like, okay. But then he just talks the same dialogue over and over and over. And it's like, we get it, dude. Joker pimped you out. I mean, holy tits. He can't see that Joker, like, held you hostage and brainwashed you. I mean, it's like, dude, everyone, you know, no one's, I don't know. He just seems so tired and annoying. Like, he's like, Batman, you didn't save me. Like, I'm gonna end you, Batman. It's like, bro, man. Arkham Knight sounded like that dude who didn't get that date, you know, in high school. He's like, you didn't say yes to me. I'm gonna end you. You know, like, dude, sack up and nut up for real. So I'm gonna talk about what I liked about the story and all this stuff, but I just think those are my problems with the story of Arkham Knight. Let me know down below if you guys enjoyed the video or what your thoughts. Did you love the story? Did you hate it? Let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I am Sully. Peace in the Middle East. I will catch you guys later.